right, Pokemon fans, welcome back to Trooper Tour Chilling Reign. I am here live with the store owner himself, Mr. Stephen Durham. We are getting ready for this next round. We are in round 4. We are going to be swapping screens here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our game, and we have gotten underway here. On the left, we have Calan with his ADP deck. And on the right, we have Nathan Elsensohn with his LucMetal Zacian deck. Now, are these decks that you are familiar with, Steven?
They're not. I mean, we saw ADP earlier, round
Sure.
2. So I kind of understand that. Lucario LucMetal is not, I'm not familiar with. I know it's a deck, but you're going to have to explain what its strategy is for me.
Sure, not a problem, not a problem. Let me just check something here real quick. All right, perfect. Now, as far as LucMetal Zacian goes, what you are looking at is utilizing the Full Metal Wall GX attack from the Lucario Melmetal, which requires just a single colorless energy and then a single metal energy to be attached to Lucario. And then what happens is it goes ahead and discards all energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon.
Okay.
And then for the rest of the game, it kind of does the inverse of ADP, where all damage done to you is 30 less for all of your metal Pokemon, which this deck only plays metal Pokemon. So it seeks to play this slow, grindy heal game, because between Full Metal Wall GX and Metal Goggles, you're taking 60 less damage per attack, and then you can play things like Mallow and Lana to heal yourself over and over again. So it looks like...
so we saw him stuck on ADP here.
Yeah, Calan did not do anything on turn 2 other than just use ADP's GX attack.
So we're going to see a very quick attack here.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a pretty quick Full Metal Wall GX. It's going to not knock out ADP, but it's going to pluck both of those energy off of ADP.
Leading Calan
with just an ADP with an air balloon, and that's all that they've got in play.
Nathan probably has a Marnie. I don't know if I saw his hand.
Yeah, he may have a Marnie that he's just like not using because you don't want to. But it looks like Calan has a dead hand. I do see a Viridian Forest. Yep, there we go. So we are going to go ahead and use the Viridian Forest, discarding a metal energy. Going to search the deck for any basic energy and put it into their hand.
Nathan's setup seems very strong here.
Yeah, Nathan is very, very in a good spot here. We are going to get a water energy with Viridian Forest. Not a particularly strong start here.
No, for Nathan, like the decks do play like 4 Zacian, so he's going to attack with those, and then they can't be killed back.
Yeah, primarily, so you use the LucMetal attack to set up the GX attack. Then your primary game plan is just to find 6 prizes with Zacian. You use Zamazenta primarily against decks that it is good against, with its ability that blocks VMAXs from being able to damage it. So you would use that against things like perhaps Eternatus, where it would force them to like either use Phoebe or other types of game plans in order to try and break through that wall. But most of the time, you're just trying to like LucMetal GX attack and then just kill them with Zacian.
It seems like Nathan's well on his way to executing that plan, at least this turn.
It really does seem that way with just a water energy and a pass out of Calan. It does not seem like we're going to have a very, very fruitful game, because there's just been too much time pass here. We are going to see a boss's orders on the one with the energy. And it looks like we're going to see a 50 damage attack that is going to go ahead and search the deck for a metal energy and attach it to Lucario. Now, the interesting thing about that is that 50 damage brings ADP down to 230, which is conveniently the exact amount of damage that Zacian does. So
really just like Nathan started strong here, and he's just trying to execute, just set up a lot of energy on the board, because there's no real downside, right, to adding a bunch of energy to your guys, because they're not in the risk of being one-shotted anymore.
And you're a very slow, methodical deck where you're trying to like take these extra turns and heal and stuff. So like you're very much just trying to like hit your energy per turn, just slowly build a board and go from there.
And against decks like that, like Calan here really wants to start fast.
Yeah, right? You really want to just get a blitzering start, because the I would say that the more turns that go by, LucMetal is favored against anything in the format. Outside of like a very controlling deck like an Excadrill or something weird like that. So it looks like we are discarding a Viridian Forest to get a Metal Energy with Viridian Forest. But we've already GX attacked, so we aren't even like progressing the board by doing that. Zapdos not really going to do anything here because there's no V Pokemon in play. So it's just 4 energy for its 170 damage attack, which obviously is not a very good rate. All things are just pointing to Nathan, honestly.
We have a metal on the back,
energy switch to the back, and then we're just going to leave that because it looks like we're handless now.
So that was Calan's entire hand.
That was Calan's entire hand. That's all that Calan's got going on. It's kind of dangerous in a situation like this to like say we benched that Zapdos, right?
Yep.
We could have just not done that, and then that way, like if I drew a quick ball the next turn, I'd be able to just discard that. But because like now quick ball isn't an out because you literally don't have a card to discard, so you can't like Dedenne and get back into the game next turn.
And these decks do play for quick ball because of the amount of Pokemon and stuff.
And between like Crobat, Dedenne, Eldegoss, even I think Calan hasn't played a supporter, so Eldegoss wouldn't help him.
We see a Guzmahala with a discard here.
Yeah, Guzmahala discarding, going to find a Metal Goggles, a Chaotic Swell, and a Coding Energy. Coding Energy is just a Metal Energy that also protects you from your fire weakness.
Okay.
But this is...
Are you going to see Nathan, like, play the Chaotic Swell here?
Yeah, so honestly, I would probably keep the Viridian Forest in play. There's not really any, like, I don't care that my opponent's attaching an energy a turn because I'm just so far ahead. And it would just make sure that I continue. Like, because it favors us both, right? So, like, if something is, like, net neutral for both of us and I'm way ahead, then I just want to stay in that exact spot.
What do we draw for turn here on Calan's side?
Looks like we drew Skyla, which is a super awkward one because Skyla could have gotten a quick ball in order to then discard it and get a Dedenne or a Crobat and then just draw 6. We are going to see Skyla grab Cherish Ball, so that is good. So now we can Dedenne, but before, if like let's say we held that Zapdos that just literally is not going to attack in this matchup ever. You can Skyla for quick ball, discard the Zapdos, get Crobat for a full 6 here, and then still have access to Dede Change in the same turn.
To try to mount some sort of a board state to get.
Because you've really got to like get churned through some cards if you're going to do it.
Was it Sacred Sword is the attack of Zacian?
Yeah.
Right? So he can't do that again this next turn. Is that correct?
Correct. So unless he switches out, which is kind of what that deck is built around doing, because it plays things like Lily's Pokédoll, where you'll switch and send up the doll, and then the doll you can drop the doll and put it on the bottom of your deck.
It's the same strategy as a Donphan deck I like from 10 years ago.
Yes, except this one is playable.
All right. Yep. We see a Zacian from...
Yes, that is a Zacian, the special edition.
Aurora Energy here on the ADP.
Yeah, so we're going to see a discard because of the Aurora Energy's cost. Looks like you might discard an Escape Rope, okay? We've got a Metal Saucer. Looks like that Zaci's going to get saucy.
It's good to see some sort of board state advancement here from Calan.
And there's the Crobat. All right, so we are going to get to draw 5. We were able to play out that hand pretty well. See if we're going to be able to do anything particularly of note. Because I do believe that I saw in Nathan's hand a Mallow and Lana, which was going to both heal the Zacian and send it back to the bench.
And Nathan at this point really is just looking for a knockout on this ADP.
Yeah, and then that would end the game.
No, he doesn't have the ability to one-shot it, though.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, there's not a way.
He would need to two-shot that. Without a Lance, what's the supporter that does that? Leon, yeah. Would that one-shot the ADP?
It would,
But where this is more of a control deck, it's more fine to just two-shot, right? It has no interest in trying to reach.
Yeah, the problem, I think, here, it looks like we may not have access to a whole lot of energy.
On Nathan's side?
On Nathan's side, because we're going to need to find some way to... We need some way for the Zacian to either attack next turn or for something else to attack next turn, because we can't just not attack next turn.
And with the Viridian Forest gone here.
With the Viridian Forest is gone here, it's hard for us to get a second energy, especially without access to our supporter for turn, because we're more than likely going to be using that...
for the Malolana.
Yes.
We have a Marshadow here from Calan.
So it looks like he may be Marshallowing to get rid of Chaotic Swell and may even replace the Viridian Forest again.
Which will benefit Nathan.
Yeah.
Without Calan really knowing.
There's the Marshadow. May just be sticking that in play for a future turn, though, to play around like Marnie. To guarantee access to a Viridian Forest effect on a future turn, because it doesn't look like he has a supporter. So we are going to see the Ultimate Ray going to go ahead and deal 120 damage here. Due to... so Altered Creation adds 30, Full Metal Wall minuses 30, but then the Metal Goggles minus 30 again.
So it's a net negative 30.
Yeah, net negative of 30. And we're going to go ahead and attach two energy to Zacian and energy to Zapdos.
And we see Nathan here with the Metal Saucer.
Yeah.
To attach to Lucario Metal.
Now, that 120, kind of a convenient number.
Is that what Malolana heals?
That is exactly what Malolana heals.
Like it was, yeah.
There's a tag call. But see, here's the problem is I don't really think, because we don't have access to an energy for turn, like, it would be so insane here to Mallow and Lana attach Metal Saucer to the Lucario back here, and then do the 50 attack, leave the Zacian on the bench, yeah, and then put it in a range of a Brave Blade with a clean Zacian, fully powered up, ready and waiting in the bag.
Now, Nathan did have a boss's order early this game, correct? Or did
yes.
They get shuffled?
Yeah, so there is the Mallow and Lana going to switch for the Lucario Melmetal. And then, okay, we do have the coating energy, so we are going to be able to make that play that I was talking about here.
The 50 to set up for Zacian.
Yep. We do see a Goggles going onto the Zamazenta, and then we're going to see that 50 damage and Search of a Metal Energy. That's of note because both Lucario Metal has 3 Retreat, which does legitimately come up. And then it also has a 4 energy attack for just a flat 150, no effect.
Definitely Nathan's game plan leaving this turn, though, would be to just attack that ADP next turn.
Yeah, the plan is just at some point attack that.
We see it in NA, so we now have a full bench from Calan.
I'm very glad that the game did develop.
It was good to see Calan be able to get a board back.
Yeah.
For sure. He's definitely in a spot here. We haven't seen the supporter for the turn yet.
Not yet. I do see a Viridian Forest and a Metal Saucer and a Mawile GX in his hand. I believe I also see a Quick Ball, an energy switch, and a Dark Energy.
Yeah.
So no supporter. There is that Viridian Forest.
With that hand in a full bench, I don't see a way here for him to...
Yeah, but the ADP is going to leave the active, and I don't think Nathan has a
boss.
Okay. Part of the problem with that I found, at least with LucMetal, and not a problem in that like the deck is bad or anything because of it, but because you're using your supporter a lot of the time to heal and do things like that, you're not just churning through cards, so you don't have access to like things like boss's orders at will like other decks do, because where you don't play things like Dedenne or Crobat or Eldegoss, like utility like that. Yeah, you don't really even like you're very slow, very grindy, but what that means is you're very consistent in what you do, but you don't have a lot of option in like being able to maneuver things like that.
Whereas a normal deck in this situation, you saw him draw another Quick Ball here, would be able to discard.
Like you make a lot of decisions with this deck, but there's some things that are out of your control, and like boss's orders is one of them. All right, so we did see a Brave Blade come out. Because the other thing with Mallow and Lana is where you have to discard 2 cards in order to switch, get that switch back, or to get the healing part. You run out of cards in hand quick.
Yeah.
Like, if you're only adding 1 a turn and then you're just churning through 3. So there's
discarded
another
2
Mallow Lana.
Discarding 2 quick balls for that. It's really just committed to what we have here.
Yep. So we are going to switch back into the Zacian.
Cape of Toughness left with a Lucario
I'd be surprised to not see a Viridian Forest activation here. But
he just went for the knockout.
Okay, we did go in for the knockout here.
So 1 prize left. He's, I guess, now in range with Zacian. Still waiting for a
I
boss
would
to kill
have
something.
tried to... there may be something I'm missing, like he may be out of energy cards. But I would have used Viridian Forest, discarding the Cape of Toughness in my hand to get an energy and attach it to Zamazenta, so that if, let's say, there's a boss's orders on the Zamazenta to stall, like, then you don't have to, like, find a switch.
It really chugs through this, like this LucMetal deck.
Yeah.
But you can see how even like with this, if he did get boss's orders on that with no hand, because he's been switching them back and forth, that he could get stuck, and then Calan could mount some sort of comeback to start taking some knockouts too. Now, what exactly does Cynthia Caitlin do? I see that in...
Cynthia Caitlin is so it's another tag team supporter, so you can get it with Tag Call.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that you can discard a card to draw 3 cards and then put any supporter other than Cynthia and Caitlin from your discard pile back into your hand.
Okay.
So you're able to reutilize like the Mallow and Lana just over and over and over
but
again.
also not a powerful draw spell.
Correct.
To build a lot.
But also not like terrible, because like the one discard you can also like use to like where you aren't playing things like research in this deck, you're able to discard things like Metal Energy for Metal Saucer.
I have Metal Saucer here from Calan.
Yep. Gonna go ahead and try and get another Zacian powered up real quick.
I go with a full bench here, 2 Dedenes and 1 Crobat on Calan's side.
Yeah, it makes it difficult. That Zapdos really just continues to eat up real estate there.
Discarding them all out here.
Can we get that 3rd energy onto Zacian? All right. So we are going to see a Metal Saucer here.
We saw another 120 here to this Zacian, and then...
Or no, this isn't a Metal Saucer.
Is discarding for Viridian Forest here?
It looks like we discarded a Metal Energy to get a Metal Energy with Viridian Forest. Yep.
Well, that is a boss's order in Nathan's hand.
We have top decked boss's orders, so that should be it, except for the fact that he can't get Zacian out of the active and also boss's orders in the same turn. This looks like a Cynthia and Caitlin going to go ahead and discard the Cape of Toughness. Add back Mallow and Lana, draw 3.
Found a switch here.
Found a switch and a Pokédoll, so that's going to go ahead and just let him switch into the Pokédoll, crack it, send Zacian back up, erasing that negative effect, and 230 exactly for the knockout and game.
That will be... What a crazy 2 draws.
Yeah, what a crazy 2 draws off the 3 from Cynthia and Caitlin.
But, I mean, he had discarded a lot and gone through a lot of cards, but that's still very powerful.
Yeah, that, what a finish there as we come back to you live. What a finish there, that Cynthia and Caitlin.
Coming in.
Yep, because let's say Nathan does not draw that. He's actually in a situation there where if that Zacian goes down, he may not have a way to actually finish off the game.
Because Lucario Melmetal doesn't have an attack strong enough.
No, it only does 150, and it still had 110 damage on it. Yeah. So it was going to be knocked out by almost any of Nathan's attacks, or any of Calan's attacks.
We saw, Force Switch for Nathan, and he hadn't, I don't recall him playing one directly, so he had a lot left to get, but definitely a very strong 3 draws off of the Cynthia Caitlin. So he moves to 4-0 now.
4-0.
With
quite the good start
rounds.
with 7 rounds.
So it looks like maybe we'll see Lucario Melmetal in top 8. I'd like to see that play against some of the Calyrex decks, where especially Shadow Rider, where it can start very strong.
It'd be interesting.
I just really want to see Shadow Rider against a lot of stuff. So
yeah,
it's really interesting. And again, we saw even with Calan starting kind of slow, like he had the ADP, he was able to creation, but it just with that Galarian Zapdos and stuff, it was
the Zapdos eating up real estate, because it's something that gets missed by a lot of players, and this isn't like me berating Calan or anything in particular, but just something that you always have to think about is whenever you play something onto your bench, that isn't just a commitment for that turn. Like, that shapes the way that every single turn for the rest of the game is going to go. Because either that Pokemon is there and therefore impacting what you're having to do, or that Pokemon is no longer there, which means that it got KO'd, which means that it impacted the game in that way. So there's definitely multiple spots there where I think being able to have access to that one other bench spot could have potentially flipped the game in Calan's favor.
Even with Mawile, right? We saw him discard that because he didn't have room, but Nathan had Lucario Melmetal in his hand, so if there's a situation where he could bring it down and trap, guys and stuff, there was a Zamazenta on the bench, but there is a lot, there's a lot going on, and that. Fortunately, he drew a Cherish Ball and not a Quick Ball, because it would have been much worse with the Skyla, but.
Because if you just draw actual Quick Ball, you're just out of luck.
Yeah.
But even then, if it would have been in the hand, being able to Skyla, get Quick Ball, and do the Crobat first, and then the Dedenne, you're going to see more cards on average. Yeah. He did end up being able to play that hand down to get a good Crobat for 5,
Crobat and then Dedenne,
but it's very likely that did not happen for him. Yeah. So
fortunately, Calan's still live in the event. He's X1 now at 3-1. We have 3 rounds to go.
Yep.
So both players are still in really good shape, to finish out the day and then compete for that, top 8 spot in the $1,000. So
yeah, gonna have a good day. Still having fun here at Card Trooper Games. Everyone's gonna have to come check us out. We are located.
It's 8:30 Eastern Bypass in Richmond, Kentucky. We also have a website, cardtroopergames.com. We have a lot of stuff for sale. We have a lot of Evolving Skies pre-orders up now for the next set. A lot of exciting stuff going on this weekend, especially locally. So feel free to check us out. We're going to take a brief break as we get ready for the next round, for round 5. And hopefully we'll have 2 more exciting decks for you guys, and we'll be able to see some more stuff happen.
Sounds good. See y'all then.